Good afternoon, I'm Marla Ellerman. I'm publisher of Mobile Marketing and Technology Online. We're here today at the Mobile Payment Conference, and I'm with Don Bush, Vice President of Marketing for Kount. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Marla.
So let's just jump right into it. Let's talk about mobile payments.
Sure. We just completed our 6th annual Mobile Payments and Fraud report. It just came out on the market, and what this really does is looks at kind of takes a temperature of the merchants in the marketplace as to what they're seeing with mobile payments, what they're seeing with fraud, sometimes maybe even what they're scared of, what the trends that they see that maybe aren't as evident to everybody else. And so it's a pretty good sized report. It's about 75 pages.
Wow.
You're right. It takes a while to put together, but
Uh-huh.
it's got some really good data on acceptance rates, mobile wallets, where fraud is, what people are doing to stop fraud, and so forth. So we'd love people to download that and take a look at it.
And they can do that by just going to your website and downloading that report?
Certainly, they can go to Kount.com and they'll find it in the resources page. And it's available, it's free to download, so we hope people do that.
Let's talk about, you just did your keynote at the show, and you really highlighted some major areas that people should know of. So by working with a vendor like yourself, it prevents the data. Do you control the data? Is that how you're able to stop a fraudster? Or tell me about how that works.
You bet. Well, Mobile Payments Conference is always a great spot because it's very specific to a certain piece of the industry that is growing rapidly. And so we try and bring some great educational materials here. One of the things that we see is not so much of the data, because when you look at databases, those are already old when you get them.
Okay.
What we want to know is what's happening at the instant of transaction.
Okay.
And so that takes a huge network. We see over half the world's online transactions, so it gives us a great network to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And our artificial intelligence mixed with some of the other patented technologies at Kount give us that millisecond response as to, is this a good transaction or is this a bad transaction? And that's really what merchants want. Sometimes, I'm at fault of this too. I get too technical on what really happens behind the scenes, and really merchants just want to know, is this good or bad? Should I accept it or should I decline it?
Right, and that's where your fraud protection comes in.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. And so do you feel like the biggest growth with Kount is in the mobile space?
We took that early on, about 6 years ago. We first developed, as we started seeing even a small fraction of transactions coming through that mobile area. We did a mobile software development kit, or an SDK, and it's in multiple generations since then. So we've been an early adopter of mobile. It's one of those areas where we see explosive growth, and it's also one of those areas where online merchants and operators and publishers have the most difficulty because it is so new.
Right.
What are consumers going to demand
Okay.
as far as mobile wallets or types of payments? How do they want to transact on their phones? How can we as online folks make it easy to transact on our phones? And it's just sort of, it's the 1990s and the internet all over again, but it's with mobile devices and a much more educated audience. When you talk about millennials and younger kids, that they really grew up with that computer that was more
Right.
powerful than the first computer you and I ever had.
I know, it's so funny.
And it's in their pocket.
I know, it's crazy. So what does Kount's customer base look like? Is it retail? Is it online publishers? What does your customer look like?
We like to think we do something for everybody. Now,
Okay.
we have Fortune 100 companies that use our service, all the way down to smaller, I would say mom and pops, but that probably would be making it too small. But
Right.
from online gaming to games to jewelry to ticketing to
Okay.
You name the space, apparel, all
Okay.
kinds of things.
Okay, that's great. And you also mentioned you're gonna share with me something that I can share with all the attendees here. And what is that? Is that a report, or is that?
The Mobile Payments and Fraud Survey, we did that survey, finished it up back in March, and launched the report, I think, in about mid-April, late
Okay.
April. And it's very intense. It goes into all kinds of different categories of the mobile payments and fraud
Okay.
space.
Okay.
And it's broken down. Oftentimes, merchants like to see what's happening in their own industry.
Okay.
And so we've got about 20 different verticals represented there.
Okay.
And what happens in all those different areas.
Okay, well, that's great. And again, they can get that by going to Kount or contacting us or?
Sure, Kount.com or contact you or contact me.
Okay, perfect.
We'll make sure they get it.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for being here at the show, and thanks for watching.